My name is Regina George.
Dance break. It could be really hot if we change, like, everything.
Shut up!
I didn't say anything. 20 years later, it's just as poppin' as it was when it came out. It's so iconic and so timeless.
It's become such a part of all of our lives.
Everyone knows the trio in pink.
As like a woman of color and like a South Indian, I think we rarely get to see ourselves represented in a group of girls who are like unanimously considered beautiful and popular and like the like epitome of glamour, even if it's just in a high school.
Plastics emergency. Karen, you know Regina only lets us sweat on Tuesdays. I know, I'm glistening.
India can solve a lot of its problems just by using deodorant.
One of y'all wrote this?
Wow.
India, the billion people, the billion person country.
That has political turmoil in so many aspects could solve all of its problems with deodorant.
Indian smell.
I have just the thing. It can make you smell, look, and feel fresh for 72 hours. A whole week.
Only Indian.
Everybody, raise your arm.
Are we gonna smell everyone?
Whoever makes a face is the one.
Low-key. This whole idea of, Indians smelling bad, I think it sucks. I think it's putting us back. Because it's one of the most racist things that I've heard.
We as women have to be able to support each other.
I knew how this would be settled in the animal world.
Get in, loser.
Alright, so it's gonna be a story of this. My Saturday afternoons would often be spent watching the Disney Channel as a child. Just like other kids, I found the seemingly innocent comedy in these shows in these shows appealing, which would keep me entertained for hours. I noticed that none of these shows had an American Indian character, someone that I could relate to. But that all changed when Disney introduced the show Jessie in 2011, a show about the experiences of a nanny and her 4 adopted children. To my surprise, one of those children was an Indian named Ravi, who spoke with a thick Indian accent, what good does, and constantly talked about samosas. I was a bit confused as to why the producers made it big like this, but was happy to see my culture represented on television nonetheless. In the next couple of years, my classmates would start to come up to me and make comments that I had never heard. In girls, they would insult my skin color, ask if I had gross Indian food for lunch, and pointed out my hairy arms and budding mustache. As I looked into the mirror, these features started to stand out, making me hate them more and more. In particular, kids would start referring to me by the name Elsie. Who are they calling me? Why did they decide to make fun of me now? It did not occur to me that the mustache, the food, and the name all tied back to the comical character from Jessie, a character that I gradually came to hate more.
Choose your fighter.
And Eleanor, I'm American. I grew up here in the U.S. I think I saw Mean Girls for the first time when I was like 16. What's your name, bitch? My name is Aysha. You can all read it back now. I'm thinking about it was just completely unrelated, but was it one of the girls named Yasin?
I'm Smelly. I am American. I'm Indian. I grew up in India. I remember the exact day that I watched Mean Girls because I was really obsessed with all these American YouTubers, right? And they were always talking about Mean Girls. So I was like, okay. I went to church and I was like, guys, I'm gonna watch Mean Girls today. And he means fish in Malayalam. And they were really confused. They were like, that's not a very aesthetic name for a movie. really, really acing this, but then I saw. Okay, it was like the scene. It was like in the back of my mind, I was like, this is a reboot, so it might not be as good as the original. But I was also I was hearing so much about it that I was like, this is probably not like, you know, a shitty old reboot that they're always churning out. Like, that sounds like real shit. These were the scene where the classics were like listing out insecurities, right? And they're supposed to list out insecurities that are like so insignificant that they don't matter at all. It just it felt very flat for me. I will say Avantika was the best actor in the entire film. Like, okay, this is gonna be controversial. Avantika says, my BO smells like crayons. Not to hate on anyone else in the film, but I think that other people are getting like way more praise than she should be getting, because I think she was the best actor in the entire film. Like, all of her scenes were so funny, and like the other scenes just felt totally flat. Like listen, like, nobody is gonna be Lindsay Lohan. Nobody is gonna be Regina George. But Avantika was Karen. Anyways, like, she said crayons. So I was like, you know, right now, I don't think, like, I'm like a little, like, okay, like, what was that? What was that? But I was like, you know, like, okay, right. Like, I was like, okay, they didn't say curry, they said crayon. I don't know. But, like, that's what I thought. And then I saw the fucking scene with the secret deodorant shit.
Honestly, like, I didn't expect that. Like, I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew it was gonna have a little bit of racism coded into it. But I didn't know it would be that bad. Like, shit, isn't she supposed to be the popular girl? Right. Why is she the, like, I'm not trying to say that popular girls can't smell, but like, they're trying to make her the smelly weirdo? Right! What's going on here? I guess she's a popular bitch, like.
And they just like added a whole scene just for secret deodorant. And it was like, Avantika, she's like, bro, they're just talking, they're having a conversation. Avantika has the deodorant in it, and she's like, la 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 la, la la la. Like, it was so awkward. Like, Avantika being such a good actress, she was like really trying her best to play it off. That's why, like, I don't want anyone to be like on Avantika's ass about this, because this is like, she was trying her best, guys, but like, did you see her stupid material?
I think it just shows how much, like, the media that we consume and the messages that we consume, like, affect us. Because you can, like, totally intend to be making this woke remake of Mean Girls, but still have a scene in there that's racist, because you just, like, grew up in a racist society. You've seen all this racist shit throughout your life. And a lot of the people watching that, especially white people, are not going to even realize initially that that is racist. Like, I didn't realize initially, and then, you know, we're going to continue to, like, have internalized that message from Mean Girls, and it just, like, the cycle repeats itself, you know? Right. And see, that's sir. I honestly felt that because I wrote this essay when I was in this horror class, and, like, the biggest part of the essay was, it's not over when their hoodies are literally down. Like, in a lot of horror, like, part of the horror is you're scared because the person is different. And when I was researching, I was like, damn, that's so right.
And I think I wasn't really paying attention to the product placement as much, because there was, like, so much of it. Like, every scene, they would be like, they all say. And also, like, obviously, I'm not as accustomed to, like, the stereotypes, so I wasn't thinking about it that way.
Yeah. Crystal always says Smelly. It's stereotype. white character. Whatever. Yeah, I think that's not very good. That's so racist that like it's really spooky. Like they all, in order for something to be horrific, they have to also be coded with something minority. Like they're queer, they're sexual, they're a woman, and like the demonization of things that typically white men don't completely understand. It's never just, oh, this character's scary, they're trans, or they're gay, or they're disabled, or they're mentally ill. It's like, no, this is a monster. It's not a human, it's a monster. And they have this specific trait. And so this monstrous attribute, it's honestly just someone's identity. You know, when I found out what they did to her, I was still surprised. That was like worse than I even thought it would be. Because, you know, like, like these are really old stereotypes, especially the gay man, black gay man. And I was like, okay, they use it in like this tired ass trope. And I thought they would use tired ass tropes for her too, but this was like, I'm gonna make it, hey, this was a little stunned and was tight. Like, that was so shocking. It's because she was in a place of power, and so I was like, wow, even the vicious and power, they have to be like under the same umbrella as
most of the time people get like so like defensive, being like, no, I'm not racist though, like I'm really not racist though. And it's like, yeah, man, like you're not racist for liking Mean Girls, the really gorgeous, which I still like the original, and I like Avantika's role in the remake. She thought like, no, I'm not racist though, like you're saying that I'm racist because I enjoyed this media or whatever. And it's like, getting defensive like that, I understand, because nobody wants to be labeled as a bad person. But I think the reason that people do that is because, like, they're trying their best, you know? But it really doesn't, like, it just divides all of us, you know? Like, nobody is racist for enjoying Mean Girls, or, like, not picking up on that joke. And that's what, like, people, that's what, like, society or whatever wants to, like, separate us on, like, these little things of, like, oh, so you're calling me a racist because I enjoyed Mean Girls. I'm like, oh, I bet they didn't even have that intention. You're putting that in. You're like, you're pointing this out to cancel that or whatever. And it's like, no, like, at the end of the day, we all just want other human beings to be happy, because at heart, I think we're all good people. You know, I don't know, maybe not all of us, like, you know, most of us are good people, you know? So I think it's very important to stress that, like, that's not what anybody should be focused on, or like being like, oh my gosh, she's trying to cancel somebody. Like, nobody is trying to do that. Like, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, whoever worked on the secret deodorant had like terrible racist intentions. Maybe they didn't. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to an extent. Well, like, how much does that matter? Is the impact is that, like, me watching that scene, and until then, I was just so excited. I just, like, I don't know, I felt like a lump form in my throat, and I just, like, felt so uncomfortable. But I didn't, like, want to leave. I don't know, because I was like, that's dramatic, you know? Because, again, like, the fact that, like, everybody, like, they get so fixated on, like, I didn't need to, what's it, but I do party me by saying that I'm with you, you know? And that made me internalize it to that level where I was like, oh wow, like, I'm so dramatic about these things, I'm so sensitive about these things, where anybody in my place would be sensitive about that, where after they've had the experiences I've had. But the thing is, I just, like, they told me that this character was for me. So how are you gonna wipe me for hoping and praying that it wasn't going to include those, like, well-known racist stereotype about my race, you know? I feel like, let's talk about Indian smell. Let's fucking talk about it. Wow, we talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Sure. Yeah, let's talk about that question. Honestly, we're gonna hang on. Well, it's my personal experience, no. Okay. Okay. I'm getting like terrified. Why am I doing that? I'm kidding. Okay. Do Indian smell? No, bitch. Okay, but like, why? Why does the stereotype exist if they don't smell? Let's fucking break this down, but like real quick, because I can't go into like the entire shit, because that's like a 40-minute video of its own, right? But do Indians smell? No. Where does the stereotype? Well, the answer to that is some people smell sometimes, not because they're Indian. But like, yeah, exactly. But like, why? Where does the stereotype come from then? There's two versions of the fucking stereotype. There's the version that is like, Indians smell because they are biologically destined to smell because they sweat. Stereotype number one. There's another stereotype that is Indians actually smell because of the fucking curry. Like the curry is just so disgusting, and those motherfuckers, they eat it up until they gobble it up, and they always smell like curry. Okay, what? Second story. Let's go into the first one, because the first one is what Mean Girls leaned into, right? Here, the reason that they lean into this first one, Indians are biologically more likely to just sweat a lot. Like, that's the fucking whispered deodarant ad. Dude, that ad was like actually really like uncomfortable one racist. They disabled the comments on that, so you know what. Anyways, of course they did. Of course they did. Yeah, but it has like 1 billion views, so anyways, what the fuck was I saying? Yeah, first stereotype. They had to lean into that shit because they were like, if we stay in the curry, that the young girls not gonna try and buy secret deodorant, they're just gonna try and like not eat curry. They'll be like, Mom, I went burger for lunch today, or whatever. That's not gonna make us money. So it's just, that's why they lean into the fucking Indian sweat a lot stereotype. Is it true? Is that a biological thing? No. Biologically, right? Because I am very doubtful of any studies that are like, biologically, this race is more likely, whatever. But if you do believe in that kind of thing, Asians are the least likely race. Asians, including South Asians, are the least likely race to produce any kind of like bodily liquid, like sweat or earwax. Biology. I'll link the fucking study down below. You can go look at it for yourself, but and the fucking curry stuff, there's two reasons why somebody might think that a certain smell is like a bad smell. First reason, you're biologically trained to think that because something is like rotting, you know? So like your body is like, please don't ingest that shit is fucking rotting. The second reason is if you're not exposed to that kind of smell, or if you've been told by your surroundings that this is a bad smell. Like, because you're told by your surroundings that plenty of things. That's the two reasons why you might think something smells bad. So if you've been in an environment where you weren't exposed to curry or any kind of Indian like food, and then you're smelling this food, you were either probably told that, like, either you smell something foreign and like somehow have internalized that, like, okay, this foreign smell is a bad smell, or number two, you were straight up just told Indian food smells bad, and therefore, I mean, the Indian person doesn't even have to like smell like curry for you to project that onto them if you're so deep into that stereotype, you know? But we don't have to talk about the whole curry debate. We can talk about the fucking biologically, like, if this is like literally studies have proven, which again, I take it with a grain of salt. But like, if studies have proven that like Asians are least likely to smell, why does this exist in the first place? There's 8 minutes left. Why does this exist in the first place? Well, it exists for a lot of reasons, but here's the easiest, fastest thing I can tell you for not that much time.
when the concept of race was first discovered, this researcher, I forgot his fucking name, but like this researcher, he was like, skin tone isn't enough to convince people that different races are really different. So like they had to create this so they could kind of ensure security and resources for people that they consider their own. So they were like, okay, how do we? And I mean, the definition of who's white has changed so much over the years. Like, Jewish people didn't used to be considered white, like, fucking considered race. Like, Italian. But really, this same stereotype has been applied to every community in America over time, because it's like a very easy way to be like, this culture is foreign, uncivilized, and very close to being like almost like an animal, you know? They don't deserve your empathy, basically. And so, like, I was reading in there that like the way that it was applied to Native Americans, like at first they would talk about like how sweet Native Americans smell and stuff like that when the Native Americans weren't really a threat to them. But then they started talking about like the Native Americans, they smell so bad because they have very unhygienic environments. Also, Indian people historically have been taught to not speak out against stuff, so you just don't fight it. And if you don't fight it and if you don't say, oh, this hurts me, then how's anybody to know that it doesn't?
I used to watch The Simpsons all the time as a child because, like, my parents would show it to us because they grew up watching that show because it's been on TV for like a million years. So like as a kid watching that, I didn't like think about the racism, you know, there's like also racism against like the black characters and like everyone, but I didn't think about it because I was just like, I'm 8 years old. That's actually me.
Right, and he started talking about Robbie. I remember the other cartoon character who was Indian who was in that show. It was Phineas and oh, bitch, oh my god. See, I didn't want to do something that I was Phineas. Yeah, but I still, but yeah, very, I shouldn't want to say he was feminized, but he wasn't stuff like, I don't know, like he definitely had his moments of being a character. It's just that they definitely preyed up his nerdy and wakiness. Dude, the thing is, can I tell you guys something? I genuinely did not know that about. I loved the show, and I loved the show with all my heart. I would watch this show like all the time, every single day. Like I've watched every single episode of Phineas and Ferb that there is to watch. I did not know Bridget was at the end. Cause like, yeah, of course, cause like, I just was like, what's Bridget's problem? Like, why is he the way that he is? Like, I was actually into, like, I didn't even recognize as a kid, because, like, I don't know, I grew up in America, so I didn't realize, oh, Bridget's an Indian name, or I didn't even register in my head that, oh, other kids are white, you know? I watched the show again, like, this winter, I watched it, and I was like, it was like the episode that I chose was like around Bungee Park. Like literally 10 seconds into the show, I had to switch it off because I was like, what this? Like, because then I like realized I was like, fuck, this character's meant to be Indian. Voice toxic. Like, what the fuck is that? I didn't know, bro. I had no idea Bungee was Indian at all. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't me that representation was for. So. Sure, damn. Wonder if that was for. Recently, they finally removed that character. Oh, they did. They retired him because people were like, guys, it's super racist. And really, like, people had been telling them it was super racist, but I guess it just got to a point where they were like, okay, we can't do this anymore. This was like such an awful resource because the main argument for people were like, oh, why isn't this what you hear? Like, it's just jokes. It's just jokes. But the thing is, like, for somebody that has no exposure to Indian culture, and these kids, like, I was saying that, like, none of these kids were saying this shit to them before the fucking show came out. Like, they put in one character of color, it was two characters of color. Characters of color. But because of that representation, people were fucking getting bullied. Like, literally, so what's the point of it? To get, like, liberal points or whatever? And it's like, you know, like, the main argument for, like, oh, it doesn't matter, like, you're making a big deal out of it, is like, it's just jokes, it doesn't transcend beyond television. But now we're seeing a young boy who was bullied, might not otherwise even have been bullied, because of representation on a TV show. Well, I know that's a monster. And sometimes, like, you know, a lot of these kids, like little white kids growing up in, like, the suburbs or, like, you know, out in the country, like, they're not exposed to a lot of people of other races, and they don't know a lot about other cultures. Like, I know, like, me growing up, like, I didn't know that much about anything, and, like, everything that you learn comes from the media that you consume. So media is telling you, like, Indian people act like this or do this or whatever, then you're like, okay, because you never met an Indian person in real life, so that's what you think. So actually for kids, like, it definitely has a big impact on them. And I think that people that are like, oh, it's just a joke, they just want to enjoy the racist jokes. Yeah. They don't really give a fuck, you know? I mean, everything I learned about white people before coming to America was from TV shows, and I think it was pretty good about persistence. Yeah. If I make a video about this, it'll be like, I don't know, because people be like, well, you have an Indian Mean Girl, maybe we should have just made it a white thing. Like, if you have such a problem with that, it's just a movie or whatever. And white people say that really. I can't think of a single person who's in, like, a minority, barely represented, who's like, well, yeah, you can make us, like, hypersexualized, yeah, urban sexualized, like, comedy parodies of ourselves, and literally that's enough. You can, like, no one thinks that that's good representation for a group, but sometimes you're just like, oh, what, it's all fed on. Right, it's all I have, right? Because Avantika's, like, going on to do so much stuff, like, I mean, I just found out that there's, like, a South Asian character in, like, a Disney movie that's not, like, also low-key Middle Eastern, like Jasmine. Like, there's a South Asian lead in a Disney movie, and it was Avantika. Like, it already happened. They, like, spin on or something? I'm not even sure. It was so barely, I would have known. They had advertised it that much more, right? But yeah, so, like, it was Avantika. I mean, Avantika's gonna go on to play, like, a queer, someone was saying that told me that thing, like, queer football, play ball in there. I found that Amazon Prime series. It's gonna do a lot of things for representation, you know? So I don't want any criticism that we might potentially have for it to be, like, cancelable, for people to be like, oh, okay, I guess you hate yourself and your culture, and because, like, it was either she did that or there isn't an Indian girl, or there is, but it's just not very.
So it was the last movie thing, and it was like Cards Against Humanity, but like movie edition, which that's a deadly combo, like that's horrible. So, you know, there was like discrimination against like every single fucking type of person. Like, there was some discrimination against fat people, there was some discrimination against like Italians. That's horrible. But there was this one thing. I was like, this girl, she was like, we don't know who said this, right? But like, it was like the progress. I don't know about you, but personally, I've been 3 days before because like one of my friends was like, yeah, this is a stereotype that Indians smell like. I was straight across the book, you know, like, there's a stereotype that Indians do any like negative thing, you know. So I was like, okay. But like, yeah. So it was like the problem was, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want my kids exposed to black. And the girl she filled in the blank with, I wouldn't want my kids exposed to a big wasp of Hindu odor and whatever. And Hindu, I mean, is just fucking Indian, you know, like, I mean, not really, because I'm not even into a Christian, I mean, not, but like, I was raised Christian, I was raised Catholic, my parents are Catholic, but like, you know, I was like, yeah, I wonder if that was correct for that. And I was just so hurt, man, because this entire time, I was like being outgoing, I was making jokes, I was like trying to be myself, now the person I was before I thought like I let all this stuff get to me. And like everybody was laughing and they were acting like they liked me. And come to find out they think I fucking smell. Literally, I wish that in that moment I was like, why did you say that? But I just froze, you know, like I didn't know what to say. I was just like looked at my professor like, and then we just moved on. But like, I just felt so anxious going back to that class. Like I did not want to go. I thankfully got over it for the rest of the semester. I felt anxious and I was like, wow, like I can do everything right and you're still gonna see me like this, you know? So that was my exposure, my hard hitting exposure to Indian smell stereotype. And then after that, I've been exposed to it multiple times. You know, this is just in the beginning of when I was in college.
So I think this is just a story that we can keep in mind as we talk about Mean Girls and the representation in Mean Girls, especially because people are talking so much about like, oh my gosh, it has an Indian Mean Girl in it. And I think it's great. I think there's a lot of things that we're doing great, but some things that we can break down. I think that's a wrap. I mean, hold on. Like and subscribe.
What the hell is that?
I got from this part, but like in the kind of like I was in the kind of way where I was like, I want to beat her, you know?
You want her and you want to beat her?
No, I wasn't like really attacking her. I was just like, I want to beat her.
Yeah, you thought she was cool.
Yeah, but, bro, Graham invited a cheerleader.
Who, the mask?
Yeah, the one with the like bob haircut, and he's like, I was like 16, and I was like, I you know,
I didn't watch but I'm a cheerleader too. I was literally 100% sure I was gay. I must have been like 16 or something.
Yeah, I knew I was gay at that point. I was like, I want to watch this. It's a gay movie.
Well, I watched it because Andrea showed it to me. And Shannon, they were like, you've never watched